Hi, this is Andreas from anythingbutipod.com. This is the Go Gear Aria MP3 player from Philips. It's their second to biggest player as far as I know. It's a bit difficult to know with Philips because they have something around 10 to 15 players on various markets at the moment. But it's bigger than the Vibe, which is another player on the US market, and it's also a lot bigger than the Spark, as you can see. The size of the player brings it into the range of something like the Sensor Fuse and also the Sony E-Series. It's practically identical in size to the E340. A little bit thicker and a little not as tall, but more or less the same. It's a very low priced player, or it has a MSRP of $99 for the 16GB version, which is about the same as the Sony player. You can find it at Amazon for about $80, which is a decent price, but it's not too cheap considering some of the features you can get with other players. The design looks a bit something in between a Meizu M6 and a Insignia player, maybe the Insignia Pilot. It's a landscape mode. You can't use it in portrait. So it's the side here you have the power button. You have a 7-way D-pad, which is not that common to find on a player. You normally have a 5-way or something like that, but you have the normal D-pad here, and you have the play pause button, and you have the back and option buttons. On the top you have the volume control. One of my gripes about this player is the on-off switch on the bottom here. Basically it won't react unless you really slide it hard into the side of the player. The screen on this thing is 2 inches with a resolution of 220 by 176, which is frankly a bit low considering the Sony E340 has a 340 by 240 screen. So the Sensor Fuse has the same 220 by 176 pixel screen, and the difference in actual number of pixels is I think about 38,000 pixels on 220 by the 176 and something around 76,000 pixels on 320 by 240, so it's about half the size of a QVGA screen. So you definitely notice the lack of pixels for things like videos and pictures and all that stuff. You can look at the video first. Here you can see a very common bug with this player. It says that there's no videos, there's no videos, there's no videos. Normally it will stop saying that after a while, but obviously not today. You can try turning it off and on again. The video feature is very buggy because sometimes it doesn't list all the videos, sometimes it lists some the videos with the wrong title, sometimes it lists the MP3 files as videos, and sometimes it just refuses to load any videos at all. So, oh, no, it actually displays one video, the one that was on the player to begin with. So, and as you see, when I pressed on it, it actually loaded a different video. So it's very buggy in this respect. Go back, no videos, no videos, no videos. And there we have videos. So the video feature is pretty much useless, both because it's a motion JPEG video format, which is basically the crappiest video format you can imagine on any player. You need special software to convert it, and when I converted a test video, it took about 5 times as long to convert the videos as the actual file on a pretty fast computer. So it's definitely not a fast conversion. It takes a lot of space compared to the resolution, and yeah, it's basically not something you want to use for video. And the video quality is also not too good considering the low resolution of the screen. This time it's actually loaded the video, so you can see no videos again. It actually does the same thing for pictures once in a while, but pictures is a lot less buggy. This is just on pictures that were on the player to begin with. You can see, let's see if I can get the bug to show. It seems to be behaving this time, but you saw in the videos that it didn't. Here we go again. So to the music features of the player, you have the basic ID3 data you can browse by like on the other Philips players. You don't have any genre and you don't have any year or anything like that. Audio Books is the same as on the Vibe and the Spark. You can only browse Audible Books with this menu. You can't add your own, or if you do they will appear as music, so it's not all that useful, although I personally use Audible a lot, so at least it supports it. It also supports Rhapsody. At least some of the players, they have some random model numbers. So there are some versions that do support it and some that doesn't. This is the SA1ARA16K/17. So you can imagine finding a player that has almost the same model number but suddenly doesn't support some of the features in my review. Anyways, you have the same feature that you have on the Vibe and the Spark. The letter that pops up telling you where you are in the alphabet. When you it appears to have hang. This is basically typical of this player because it really is a crappy player in my opinion, to put it simply. Okay, I apparently need to reset the whole thing. You can imagine when a player hangs during a 10-minute video for a review, you don't want to use this player for everyday activities because you can't depend on it. The video feature and the video bug show that pretty well. Let's wait for it to boot up, if it's even capable. There we go. Basically all the features on this player is very average and very subpar. The FM radio has just the basic, and you can't record, and both the reception and the sound quality is average. The same goes for recordings. It doesn't record in any useful format, and the microphone is pretty bad, so that's not exactly the most useful feature either. Folder view, you can browse both music and videos and pictures via folders instead of metadata. And a text reader, which will only read TXT files. And apparently there's no text on this player the first 2 times, and suddenly there's text on the player. So you see the video bug is basically not just for video but also for photos and text. So I wouldn't actually recommend reading any lengthy books on this thing because it's not exactly an ebook reader, but at least you have the option. Settings, just the basic sound settings and so on. You have full sound, which is probably the most useless sound enhancement ever. And just generally this player is very underwhelming because between the bugs and the low screen resolution and the price, which is about the same as the 16GB version of the Sony E340, which has a much better screen, much better features, a lot more stable. I just don't see that this player has much to do on the market at all. It's basically it doesn't have anything to offer for anyone because it doesn't have any standout features, and so that's it. Read the full review at anythingbutipod.com.